computer. Yeah. So let's start because of time, because we have 3 candidates already waiting. Captain Hanson, good evening once again. You'll be starting with your student, JJ. So JJ, if you want to introduce yourself. Network, don't fail me. JJ, are you there? Is it me? Can anybody hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
I can hear you, Cap.
I think JJ.
I can hear you, sir.
Oh, okay.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you. You know those moments when you hear your examiner, then boom, something happens. You're not sure. Captain Hanson, I hope you're not a scary examiner here. But let's keep JJ, can you hear me now? Okay. I think JJ will be having some network issue.
Okay, yes, sir, I can hear you. I'm having network issue here, but I'm just trying to get a proper location for the network.
Okay. You want us to come back to you?
Oh, please come back, sir.
I can come back to you. We can take the second candidate and I come back to you if it's okay.
It's like JJ and my customer.
Let me shut off the video. Maybe the audio will be okay for me.
Okay, yeah, turn off your video. All right, can you introduce yourself now to the class? I think it would be wise we come back to JJ. I'm just trying to look at timing and see how we can finish all we have for today.
Okay, yeah, I can read you now, sir.
All right,
can you
introduce yourself to the class?
Okay, Captain Busayo.
Sir.
Captain Busayo.
Okay,
yeah,
my name is.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I can hear you, Captain Hanson. Hello.
Yeah, before we start, I just wanted to know the timing. Is it 10 minutes, 15 minutes? You said you will have 3 examiners in the house, right?
Yeah, so like I said, so it's going to be 15 minutes per student. So a session is 15 minutes between the student and the examiner.
Okay, thank you.
So it's 15 minutes between the student and the examiner, and after JJ, Beatrice, get ready. You are the second person coming. So JJ, are you ready now?
Okay, yes, I'm ready. I'm ready, sir.
Okay. Now, introduce yourself to your examiner, and he will pick it up from there.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. My name is Jimo Sunday John. My humble self. I'm here to learn from the captains in the house. I'm currently the master of MV Agilist, but I'm still holding OW tickets. I've just written my chief mate tickets in Nigeria, expecting the results any moment from now. So as I've said, learning process is still my goal, especially learning from the captains. Tell you the courage word for word, but I understand it, so I'll keep learning from here, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, JJ, I guess this is the second time we're meeting. Welcome back.
Raju sir. So easy on me, sir.
It was, I'm not an hard person, don't worry. All right, let's start. My number 1 question is all about COLREGS today. And number 1 question is, tell me about the book, the COLREGS book, the Convention on International Regulations for Prevention or for Preventing Collisions at Sea.
Okay, yeah, the COLREGS himself, has to do with the international regulation for the prevention of collision.
Basically, what I want is how it's structured, the sections, the annexes, and all that, if you can remember.
I cannot hear. Huh? Let's go.
Did you hear what I said?
Please, can you come back, sir? Can you come back, sir? The network is really breaking here.
Okay, I basically want to know, like, for you to tell me or explain to me how the COLREGS book is structured. Is it sections, annexes? What you can remember or what you know about the COLREGS as a whole, like the book.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, Captain, for the opportunity to be in your front once more again. What I know about the COLREGS, which have to do with the international regulation for prevention of collision at sea. It has about 6 parts now, because they've added the new part, which is part F. We have part A, which is general. We have part B, which have to do with steering and steering rule. And from the part B, it is subdivided into 3, where we have section 1, section 2, section 3, which section 1 talk about the conduct of vessel in any visibility, and section 2 talk about conduct of vessel in sight of one another, and section 3 talks about conduct of vessel in a restricted visibility. That is for the part B. Then part C talk about light and shapes. Then part D talk about sound signal and lights. Then part E talk about exception, and the part F, which is the new one that was introduced, had to do with is it resolution of compliance or something like that? I don't know. I've actually forgotten, but I think that's what I know about
verification of
the COLREGS.
verification of compliance.
Verification of compliance. Thank you. Yeah, verification
Thank you.
of
Well
compliance.
done.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, that's very good. And the total number of rules, do you remember?
Yes, initially we have 38 total number of rules, but now we have addition theory, which is the last part, which is that makes it 40, yeah, 40, 39, 41, 42 now, sir.
41 actually. Yeah. Hello.
41. Addition of 3, 41, sir.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm right here with you, sir.
All right. Going for that, help me define a vessel as per COLREGS. Okay. Help me define a vessel as per COLREGS. What do you understand by the word vessel?
The word vessel means or include every description of watercraft, including a non-displacement craft, which includes the seaplane or anything that is used or capable of being used as a means of transportation on water, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, good. What about power-driven vessel?
Yes, a power-driven vessel mean. Okay, a power-driven vessel mean, as per the rule in Rule 3, it means any vessel that is propelled by machinery. That any vessel using engine to propel itself.
Okay, that's good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, explain Rule 5 in your own words. Not word for word, but
thank
just
you very
explain Rule 5.
All right, thank you for the opportunity of explaining it according to myself, not word for word. And at the same time, I will appreciate that you put me in the vessel to be a lookout. It is expected of me as a lookout man or any other vessel to at all time to maintain a proper lookout. A proper lookout, which include me using my binocular, using my physical sight, posting people around. I mean, posting lookout men, which is my AB or my lookout men in the bridge weeks, to look around, and also by hearing, which means that it is appropriate for me to maintain and listen to the sound signal of any other vessels around. And by all available means, this can include the use of me using my charts, using my radar, and every other means appropriate in the prevailing circumstances and conditions. And putting all this in place, it will mean that I have made a full appraisal of the situation. And with that, I can say that I can boldly say that I am preventing collision from any vessel, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
You know about Rule 2 responsibility, right? Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
JJ, can you hear me? JJ, can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me, JJ?
Yes, I can read you now. Confirm you can read me. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can read you.
Yes, sir. Can you read me?
I can read you loud and clear from there. Yeah, I was just asking, you know about Rule 2 responsibility, right?
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, with regards to Rule 2 responsibility, what do you understand by the statement, nothing in this rule shall exonerate anybody, anyone? Can you just explain that term? Nothing in this rule shall exonerate.
Yes, in my
You
whole
being
word,
a master of the ship that you are
explain
on
nothing
now
in this rule.
shall
Okay, rather
exonerate.
that, sir. This means from the rule, that's a rule 2B. I'm rule 2A. We talk about responsibility and say nothing in this rule shall exonerate any vessel or the owner or master, which is me, of not complying to the rule. Means that, let me use Nigeria term, if I fuck up, there is nothing that will exonerate me that say I should not follow the rule. If I don't follow the rule, I go for it. I pay for it. I pay for it daily. That is what it means to me in my own language, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, if you're at anchor and somebody run into you, will you be exonerated?
I will not still be exonerated because the rule provides for me to maintain a proper lookout, which I take as the major rule in this rule. And for a risk of collision, if a vessel is approaching me or is drifting towards me, it is my responsibility to take responsibility to prevent to prevent a collision. And from that, if I'm at anchor and the vessel is running towards me, I should have taken early action. If I'm not clear about what the vessel wants to do, is for me to sound the appropriate blast to ensure to pass information to the vessel. And if the vessel is not taking action, I quickly pick up my I quickly take action that I needed to take, at least to prevent the collision. And peradventure, if I'm following the rule and I see that such situation is not still okay by me, the rule still give me the chance or the authority as per rule 2B to deviate from the rule to prevent collision. So in this situation, I am not still exonerated even if the vessel runs to me while I'm at anchor. Thank you, sir.
Okay, talking about close quarter or someone running into you, what is the most effective action to avoid collision or a close quarter situation if you have enough sea room?
If as per the rule, it is expected of me that in order for me to avoid a close quarter situation and to prevent collision, I make a bold alteration in the early action to prevent collision, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, is succession of small alterations, of course, allowed or good?
Hey, that's all. Please, can you come back, sir?
Can you do succession of small alterations? Maybe you want to alter course to starboard, you do 5 degrees, 6 degrees, 1 degree, 2 degrees. Succession of small alterations, of course. Is it allowed or is it good seamanship?
Okay, as per the rule does not accept. The rule does not accept per se. The rule does not accept a small alteration. The rule encourages and accept a bold alteration, because a bold alteration is giving a pure signal to the incoming or any vessel you are trying to prevent collision with to know your action in time. So a bold alteration at all time is what is encouraged. However, I still say again, depending on the situation, especially when you don't have going by route 2B, anything at all you do to prevent collision is still accepted. But bold alteration is what is encouraged and accepted as per the rule. Thank you, sir.
Okay, what can you consider as bold alteration?
Come again, sir.
Did you hear me? What do you consider, or
Hello,
what
hello.
can you consider
Can you
as
hear
bold
me?
alteration? When
Okay,
when will you be satisfied with yourself that you've made a bold alteration?
Yes, I will be satisfied that I've made a bold alteration. Specifically, I cannot say moving starboard, moving 5 degrees, 2 degrees, or 6, or any form of degree. But you make a bold alteration. You are satisfied that you make a bold alteration when you are sure and past clear of any incoming vessel or any vessel you are trying to prevent, and it will be apparent to the other vessel that you are totally away from the course that you are taking. That is what bold alteration means to me, sir. I don't know if I'm wrong.
Are you sure about that? Have you heard the word aspect?
For now, yes. I've heard the word aspect.
Okay, when you make alteration of course, what are you trying to change, or what are you trying to? Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I can redo 3/5, but I'm catching up.
Okay, you said you've heard the word aspect.
Yes,
hello,
sir.
JJ.
Yes, sir.
I think our time is up, sir.
Yes, sir.
Captain
Yes,
Busayo,
sir.
is our time up yet? It's 8:20 now.
Yes, sir. I think the time is up. But if you can ask the last question with JJ, because I'm sure Beatrice is already warming up.
All right, JJ, last question then. How do you determine risk of collision?
Okay. Thank you very much, Captain. A risk of collision is determined as per Rule 7, which talk about risk of collision. That a risk of collision is determined when take the compass bearing of the other vessel and is approaching, and the course does not relatively change. That means there is a risk of collision. Or perhaps if this or the bearing, sorry, not the course, the bearing does not relatively, or even if it changes, you still find out that this thing is not really.
I'd like you to use the word appreciably.
Changing more. If you take series of compass bearing of
something that can be appreciated by another vessel looking at you by radar,
appreciably,
by
yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. All right,
if you
Captain
take
Busayo,
a compass bearing and it does not appreciably change. All right. Thank you very much, sir, for the opportunity.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Captain Hanson. Comes JJ. I would like everyone. I'm making notes. Everyone should also make notes and bring out the questions that we don't understand. At the end of this class, Captain Hanson will come again and give us a breakdown on how well he thought JJ went, and also giving us a feedback on JJ as well. So thanks, Captain Hanson. Thanks, JJ. Let me put you on suspense there. At the end of the class, you know how well you did, whether your examiner gave you a pass or did not pass you. But I would like to move on quickly now to the next. It's Beatrice. Are you there? Are you ready now?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, good evening, good evening. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank God.
So you've read a lot of COLREG, and JJ has opened the floor, so you can see everybody is trying to see that, let's see what a woman can do better. I'm sure you beat us hands down. So with that, I'll welcome your examiner. Your examiner is always a captain I always respect. I welcome Captain Success Edson to the floor here. Captain Success, are you there?
Hello, good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. So, Beatrice, you want to introduce yourself to your examiner, and then he will take it from there. Yeah, Beatrice, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, please introduce yourself to the examiner, and he will take it from there.
Okay, good evening, sir. My name is Audu Beatrice. I just completed my seat term, and I'm currently so awaiting to take my exam probably by December, sir.
Okay, Beatrice, it's good to meet you, and good evening to every other person. Just by way of starting, can you please tell me about a vessel restricted in her ability to maneuver?
Okay, sir. A vessel restricted in her ability to maneuver is a vessel which, due to the nature of her works, cannot keep out of her way for another vessel. For example, a vessel laying pipes or dredging, or a vessel engaged in a mine clearance operations.
Okay, thank you. And okay, so I'm putting you on a cargo vessel now, and you are in open sea. You have a vessel to your port side. There is risk of collision, but you discover that the vessel is fishing with a trolling line. What will be your action, and which rule will you apply?
Sorry, come again, sir.
You're on a cargo vessel. You have a vessel to your port side, fishing with a trolling line. I want to know what your action would be and why you are taking that action. In essence, which rule are you applying to that situation?
Okay, a vessel fishing with trolling lines. So to keep out of her way, so I'm going to alter my course.
To where?
She's by my port side. So I'm
Yeah,
going
so why are you altering your course to? She's on your port side. Why are you altering course? Which rule are you applying basically is what I'm asking you, and why are you applying that rule?
That will be rule action to avoid collision, rule 8.
Okay, why are you applying the rule? Why are you altering course?
Because she is restricted in her, due to the work she is doing, she cannot maneuver or keep out of her way for me because she have an obstruction, her trolling lines.
Please define a vessel engaged in fishing.
A vessel engaged in fishing is any vessel which is fishing with net, lines, or trolling, which restrict her maneuverability.
Okay, so from your definition, you didn't mention trolling line. So I deliberately put that in, but I'm not, so I think Captain Afolabi will take corrections later, but you just note that your action was wrong. So you need to check the definition of vessel engaged in fishing. But I'll move on. Tell me about the difference between an anchored vessel and a vessel aground. So I'm just asking about the light they display and the shapes they display during daylight. Difference between vessel aground and vessel at anchor.
Okay, a vessel at anchor will display an all-round white light, while a vessel aground will display two black balls in the day, and at night an all-round red light. Two all-round red lights in a vertical line.
At night, how will you differentiate the size of a vessel that is at anchor? You said the vessel will display an all-round white light, correct?
Yes, at night she will display an all-round white light she will display an all-round white light, and if her length is greater than 100, she is to lit her deck, to illuminate her deck.
Okay, I think you're missing something there, but I'll move on. What speed would you consider as safe speed when approaching a port?
Safe speed when approaching a port. It depends on the safe speed varies, depends on the prevailing circumstances on the condition.
Can you name a few of them?
So if she's in a traffic dense area or a traffic dense area, her safe speed will vary. If it's at night, her safe speed will vary due to a reflection from a light at the shore, or from her the reflection from her own back scatter of light.
Okay, what about visibility?
Yes, also in a restricted visibility, her safe speed will also vary.
Okay, so there are lots of things that you could have mentioned that would readily come to your mind. So not that.
Yeah, her draft in relation to the available depth of water also determines her safe speed, and then the sea state, and navigational hazard around the vicinity determines her safe speed.
Okay, thank you. Tell me how you would cross a traffic separation scheme.
I will if crossing a traffic separation scheme, I will cross at a right angle to the flow of traffic.
And when would you need to cross a TSS?
When I will need to cross a TSS?
Yes, why would you need to cross a TSS?
And if I'm going to if I have to go towards the other side, then I will need to cross the TSS. if I'm not going in the same direction with the traffic.
Okay. Differentiate between a vessel not under command and a vessel restricted in her ability to maneuver.
Okay, a vessel not under command is a vessel which, due to some exceptional circumstances, is able to maneuver or keep out of her way of another vessel. For example, a vessel that has a steering gear failure or engine breakdown. Then a vessel, sir, please, what's the second one?
Vessel not under command and vessel restricted in her ability to maneuver. So vessel not under command.
Yeah, so a vessel not under command is a vessel that due to exceptional circumstances, she is unable to maneuver or give way to another vessel. For example, a vessel that has an engine breakdown or steering failure, then a vessel restricted in her ability to maneuver is a vessel which, as a result of her depth, her draft in relation to the available depth of, a vessel restricted in her ability to maneuver is a vessel due to the work she is doing, she is engaging, cannot keep out of her way for another vessel. Like a vessel engaged in dredging or laying cables, or a vessel engaged in mine clearance operation.
Okay,
She is
so
restricted in her ability to maneuver because of the nature of the work she's undergoing.
how would you be able to identify each of the vessels, either in daylight or nighttime? In essence, I'm just asking you about lights and shapes for each of these vessels I mentioned.
Okay, a vessel restricted in her ability a vessel not under command at night, she will display two all-round red light in a vertical line, while during the day she will display two black balls in a straight line. And a vessel restricted in her ability to maneuver will display same light.
So if they display the same light, that means there's no difference between both of them. So how would you know what action to take? There must be a difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, you can check that out. My last question for you is just for you to tell me about the arc of visibility for the main maneuvering lights.
Okay, the arc of visibility for the mast headlight is 225 degrees. Then that of the side light is 135 degrees. And the stern light, the stern light is also 135 degrees.
Okay, so the arc of visibility of all this light is supposed to total 360, correct? So I don't think the numbers you've thrown out at me adds up to 360. I think it's far more than that. So please just double check on your arc of visibility. I think that's the last question I have for you, not to push further. Captain Thsi, back to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Beatrice, thank you very much, Captain. Success.
Thank you, sir.
I know, Beatrice, you've been on a hot seat, so take some water, calm down.
It's very hot.
Yeah, but honestly, as funny as this is, this is really 10% of what we're going to be expecting as well. And I'm so sure many people in the house, they are like, oh, I know this answer, but it's going to come to your turn as well. So without wasting much time, thanks again, Captain Success. Thanks, Beatrice. Captain Success will give us the feedback of Beatrice orals after the end of the class. So we have, is it gone? No, is there? Adetunji Adetomiwa, Ayotomiwa. Are you there? You can hear Chris. Unmute yourself and say hi.
Hi everyone. Good
Yeah,
evening,
hi.
everyone.
Are you ready now?
Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah, that's good. I like the sound. I like that energy. So you're ready to meet your examiner, and is of course one of our able captains in the house, Captain Caleb. Good evening, sir. How are you there?
Yeah, good evening. I'm joining you late because I'm combining two meetings at the same time. So,
Oh,
yeah, so I'm here. So occasionally you might hear some kind of noise from the other meeting. So I'll mute the other one.
oh, so sorry. Well, you just have 15 minutes to examine Ayotomowa, if that's okay. So Ayotomowa, welcome, your examiner. If you can just tell us your name and your examiner will take it from there.
Okay, I'm Adetunji Isaac by name, an AB to be precise.
Okay, OW master.
Hello, are you there?
Yeah, we can hear you. Are you OW master? You just need to tell your examiner. You need to tell.
Okay. For now, I am an AB on board. So, but I'm taking my class, OW class, yes.
Yeah,
thank you. For third mate, yes.
That's perfect. Captain Keller, sir.
Okay. So I was slightly, because some question I got is not opening because I'm using my mobile phone. So I will just go through some other question I hope is for OOW. So my first question here is not particularly about the other question that was sent out, but is related to orals for OOW. So what do you understand by oil record book, and what are the specific entries of oil record book?
Okay, oil record book on board. This has to do with MAPO regulations, first of all, which is on the annexes. We have, that's the first one, Annex 1. And when you carry oil record book on board, is based on the fact that you needed to record the last type of cargo, when it was the time it was loaded, and the time it was discharged, probably the type of cargo, the kind of hazard or that is meant to be, that goes along with that type of cargo, and how it can be maintained or contained in order not to cause marine pollution, and those things are being recorded inside the oil record book. That's the least I can say about that, sir.
Okay, well noted. Captain Afolabi, is it better I give feedback at the same time or after everything?
After everyone.
Okay, all right, after this one, because the possibility I might not be here up to the end, that's why.
Okay, so but as you wish, if you want to give a
okay,
feedback.
it all depends. So, well, first of all, he did well. He explained a bit about oil record book, because the common question for OOW and oil record book is a pass or fail question. So it's something that we have to be very, very conversant with. First of all, oil record book, if an examiner asks you about that, first of all, you have to tell him that you have two parts of oil record book. The first part, which is part A, has to do with machinery operations. So this type of oil, pardon, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, sir.
So in this type of oil book is for all ships, you know. So for every oil tanker of 150 gross tonnage and above, and every cargo ship of 400 gross tonnage and above, they are required to be provided with an oil record book part 1, which is machinery space. Machinery space operation oil record book. And some of the entries that have been made is when you use an oily water separator, you record it in oil record book, you know. So when there is any pumping of bilges, you record it in oil record book, which is quite very, very important. So anything that have to do with machineries has to be recorded in oil record book part 1. And the second one is what we call it. I'm just giving you a brief because we have 15 minutes. I need to go to the next question. So the next one is oil record book part 2. Oil record book part 2, this type of oil record book is only required to be carried by oil tankers only of 150 gross tonnage and above. And what you record in this one is every balancing operation, every debalancing operation, every tank cleaning operation, you are required to record it in oil record book part 2. So the major difference between oil record book part 1 and part 2 is part 1 deals with only machinery space, while part 2 deals with cargo and ballast. And part 1 is for oil tankers of 150 gross tonnage and above, and part 2 is for oil ships, oil tankers of 150 gross tonnage and above, while part 1 is 150 gross tonnage and 400 gross tonnage for other cargo ships. So it's very, very important for you to understand this oil record book. So if you are okay,
noted, sir.
Can we proceed to the second one?
Very well, sir.
Okay, what is ISM code? And what can you tell us about ISM code?
ISM code. That is a code that has to do with international. I think if I could remember, that would be. I can't really remember that for now, sir, because I'm actually prepared for COLREGS. But
okay, all right,
really
I will move to COLREGS. That's perfect.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
I will move to COLREGS now.
All right, so thank you, sir.
Okay. So the first question in COLREGS I'm going to give you is, how do you determine that you have a vessel, right? And how do you determine that a risk of collision exists?
Okay, I determine if there is a risk of collision when the compass bearing of that vessel approaching does not appreciably change with time. Yes, that's how to determine when there is a risk of collision, sir.
Are you sure that's the only answer?
There are probably maybe some other means, probably by observing the aspects, doing all those other ARPA checking, plotting your radar, like that. But the major thing to know if there's a risk of collision is checking the bearing, the compass bearing of the vessel. If it doesn't appreciably change, then there's a risk of collision.
Okay. So what if it changed and you're approaching the vessel at close range? What happened?
If they change, then if they appreciably change, then there won't be risk of collision. If it appreciably change, that means probably it has actually altered course away from you. Then it's not coming close to you again. But if you are still coming close to it, then if there's still a risk of collision, you can alter your course.
Okay.
Yes, by following other rules. probably altering your course to starboard to avoid the risk of collision or any other things. But the major thing is observing our bearing, observing our compass bearing, and our speed also.
Okay, are you sure?
Yes, very sure, sir.
Okay. So what rules is that? What rule are you discussing about?
That is rule 8, sir.
Okay, Captain Afolabi, can I go ahead with the feedback for this before I proceed?
I think I'll just note this one down so that we don't deprive him of other questions. Then just after that one, then we just come back with the feedback.
I'll come back with this one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So second question, you have a fishing boat on your port site.
Okay,
You
I
have
have a fishing boat on my port.
on the way.
Okay.
Fishing vessel on your port site. On your port
All right,
site.
sir.
Right?
Okay.
On the port site.
Yes, sir.
Just take note. You have a fishing vessel on your port site. What is your action?
Yes, sir. I'm meant to. I have a fishing boat on my port side and I'm a power-driven vessel.
Yes.
Then I have to give way for the vessel because is depending on what the fishing boat is doing actually.
Yeah, fishing vessel is on the way. I'm making way.
Okay, on the way I'm making way, and she's on my port side. She's not having her net down. She's not making any operation.
No,
She's
you
not
have
at
to
operation.
be very careful in orders. The question is fishing vessel on your port site. Action.
Okay, sir. All right, so when I have a fishing vessel on my port site, then I'm saying, I keep my course and speed.
Okay, I have limited time. Is that your answer? I will note that one and I will come back to it under feedback as Captain Afolabi has said.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the next one is you have vessel constrained by her draft on your port site.
Vessel constrained by a draft on my port side. Okay. Vessel constrained by a draft on my port side. Actions
Yes.
to be taken. The vessel constrained by a draft is a vessel due to the draft and
Action.
the available depth of water. Sorry, sir, I'm trying to. So I'm
CBD.
to. Sir?
CBD, that's due to her draft as you have defined it.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes. I'm to give way if there is available space.
What will you do? Range decreasing, bearing is steady. You are about to collide.
If there is a room, I alter my course. Or if it's a close quarter situation, then I take all way back. I reduce my speed or I take all way back. I take all way off my vessel. That's the correct statement, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So is that your perfect answer for that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. We'll discuss on the feedback. So the next question I have for you on rules of the road is, because I'm not going to go deep into light and shape at the moment. So,
okay, sir.
Yes, you are approaching a fog bank, right?
A fog bank.
You have a vessel on your starboard side, risk of collision exit. You have the vessel on your port quarter. You are plotting and also risk of collision exists. What is your action?
You said I'm approaching where, sir? Where am I approaching, sir?
Fog bank, that means you're in restricted visibility.
Okay, in a restricted visibility, and
exactly.
I have the vessel on my port.
You have a vessel on your starboard side. Risk
okay,
of collision
on my
exists.
Okay.
On your port side, risk of collision exists.
Okay, let me get the question straight, sir. I am approaching a restricted
you are
visibility.
already in a fog bank. You are already in a restricted visibility.
Okay.
You have a vessel
now
on your starboard bow.
Okay.
You know, risk of collision exists. Or you have a vessel on your starboard beam, the risk of collision exists. And you have a vessel on the port bar also, risk of collision exists.
Okay, I have two vessels, one on my starboard, one on my port side,
Beam,
and
yeah,
okay, and risk of collision exists.
exists.
So one is on my beam, and the other, which one is on my beam, sir?
You have a vessel on exactly by a starboard beam, risk of collision exists.
Okay,
One is on
starboard
your
beam.
starboard bow. Yes,
Okay,
starboard
the
beam
other,
is going to above your beam.
okay. So the other one is on my starboard bow.
Yes.
So the two vessels are on my starboard, right?
Not the two vessels, they are not on your starboard, right? The question now is, you have two vessels, right?
Okay.
You have two vessels. You know, one of the vessel, just listen to the question, one of the vessel is forward of your beam.
Forward of my beam.
Right? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, forward of your beam. You know? And then
Okay, forward of my beam.
On the port side.
Okay.
And you have another vessel above your beam on the starboard side. I think this one is better. So what's
it's
your
clearer
option?
now?
Yes.
Okay. When I have this kind of situation, and and I have a risk of collision. To avoid risk of collision, the one I am to maintain the one on my port bow or my port beam should I should be seeing is green light, which means I'm maintaining my course for that one. The one on my starboard beam, that one should be going, should be passing a stand of me because she's already on my beam. So I will, if actions to be taken.
You're about to collide.
I'm about to collide. Okay. In this kind of situation, then since I'm the stand-on vessel to the vessel on my port beam, then I can still maintain my speed or increase my speed in order
But
to.
I think I say you are in restricted visibility.
Restricted visibility.
So what does the first part of restricted visibility says?
Restricted visibility, you are meant to maintain a safe speed in the restricted visibility.
Yeah, in restricted visibility, are you inside of each other?
Oh, we are not in sight of each other.
So what's the action?
But if we are not in sight of each other, they can't see me, I can't see them, but I can see them on my radar, with help of radar. So okay, let me say, I will, as per my own idea, I will maintain
not
my
your
course.
idea. If you give oral examiner your idea, you're gone straight away.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir, for the correction.
Yeah.
So let me say, as per the rule states, as per the rule states in restricted visibility, there are ways of maintaining, you maintain a proper lookout, all those things are being done. So in this case, whereby I've signaled or I've noticed a vessel on my port beam and also another one on my starboard beam, and it's a close quarter or is a situation that is a collision, or there's a risk of collision already, then I will have to maintain or follow the rule as per se, or take every action necessary to avoid the collision. The rule so
I think the rule. Sorry if I want to come here, Captain Keller. I think because of time now.
I'll go for the feedback now, right?
Yeah. You just give him the feedback. Straight.
Okay. All right, so I'll go for the feedback. Sorry for the time and stuff. So
No,
I'll start with the first rule, which I asked you about fishing vessel on your port side.
Okay,
I
sir.
asked you about the action you will take, right? So
All right,
when
sir.
you have it, when you have to go under rule 18, there is a rule called rule 18. It's called
Yes, sir.
responsibility between vessels.
Between vessels.
And you have to look at what rule 18 says. The first part of rule 18 says, except where rule 9, 10, and 13. Otherwise, you know, rule 9 is what? Narrow channel. Rule 10
Yes.
is TSS, and rule 13 is overtaking. It says,
Okay, sir.
except where those three rules. Otherwise, right?
Yes,
A
sir.
power-driven vessel on the way shall keep out of the way of vessel engaged in fishing.
Okay,
So
sir.
the moment risk of collision exists, you have to keep out of the way of the fishing vessel. And what is your action then? You have two options. Mind you, a fishing vessel might be towing some sort of gears. It's not a trawler at that point. It's a fishing vessel. It's a vessel engaged in fishing. She's not like
All right,
cruising
sir.
vessel that's engaged in fishing cross
Oh,
proximity.
sorry, sir.
She's not a trawler.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Can I say something, sir?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thanks, sir. You made it clear that she is a fishing vessel on the way,
Yes.
not engaged in fishing.
It's a fishing vessel on the way. You can be engaged in fishing and be on the way. How do you know a vessel is engaged in fishing? That's where the examiner will ask you.
Okay. Continue, sir.
Yeah, so you will know a vessel engaged in fishing from the lights. She's displayed is different from a trolley vessel. So in this situation, you can make a bold alteration of course to port. You can slow down, allow her to pass ahead of you, or you can also make a bold alteration of course to starboard. The examiner might ask you, how many degrees? You will say that you will make a bold alteration which will be readily apparent to the other vessel observing visually or by radar. That is quite simple answer. You don't need to go in depth and in depth and in depth on this. It's simple. Rule 18 says the responsibility between vessels. And if you are not overtaking her, you are not in a narrow channel, and you are not in TSS, you know, you shall keep out of the way of that. You know, it doesn't tell you how to keep out of the way of it, but you shall keep out of the way of it. It's very simple. So,
okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, the second question I asked, right, is about CBD. If you go back to the same rule 18, which is called a vessel constrained by her draft, if you go to the D part, I think section 2 or thereabout, it says a vessel constrained by her draft shall navigate with particular caution, having due regard, you know, to her special circumstances, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, shall have due regard. In this case, you know, the rule did not say that a vessel, a power-driven vessel on the way, you know, shall keep out of way of vessel constrained by her draft. But it says a vessel constrained by her draft, you know, shall navigate with extreme caution. You know, you understand? Shall navigate with extreme caution, taking full regard to her critical circumstances. You understand? You are what the rule also says is that you are not required to keep out of the way, but you are required to avoid impeding her passage, or what we call the safe passage. If you are in the previous lectures, Captain Sobajo explained what it means by impeding passage and also safe passage. So where do you get this particular rule? You have started from rule 17 now, which says you are required not to impede her passage. So which rule do you get not to impede her passage? You need to go back to rule 8. Sir. Actions taken to avoid collision. If you go to rule 8F, what does rule 8F says? If you go to rule 8F, it says what? I think a vessel is required not to impede the passage of safe passage on a vessel. you know, shall, when required by the circumstances of the case, take early action to allow sufficient sea room, right?
Yes.
So
yes, sir.
the
Sufficient
moment you
room for the
see,
safe passage.
yeah, the moment you see CBD, you comply with Rule 8F1, which says, you know, you shall give her sufficient sea room. It's in your port site. You are the standing vessel, she's a giveaway vessel. However, the rules say you are required to impede her safe passage. So you take action as per Rule 8F1. You know, what you need to do is you avoid her safe, impeding her safe passage. What you need to do, you slow down your speed, allow her to pass ahead of you, or make a bulk alteration of course to port when risk of collision does not exist, you know, and allow her to pass safely, you know. But the same Rule 8F says, if you go to Rule 8F2 says, a vessel required not to impede the passage or safe passage of another vessel is not relief of her obligation when meeting another vessel so as involve the risk of collision. And when she's taking action, she shall have due regard to the rules of this part. Now, the moment risk of collision exists, you comply with Rule 8F2. What happened now? You are the standard vessel, she is the giveaway vessel. And if she's not giving way, what do? You take action as per action by giveaway vessel. What will you do at the point of time? The action says, so far as possible, do not alter course to port for a vessel on your own port side. Avoid alteration of course. So far as possible, avoid alteration of course to port. So what you tend to do on this side is you either reduce your speed or make a bold alteration of course to starboard. You know, that means you are complying with Rule 8F2. And if you go to Rule 8F3, it clearly states that a vessel, the passage of not to be impeded, remains fully obliged to comply with the rules of this part. That simply means the VLCC or the CBD have to comply with this rule because she's a giveaway vessel. She's required to keep out of way of you. If she doesn't give out of way, then you shall comply with action by giveaway vessel, which is very, very clear, right? I hope you understand.
Yes,
you have a very clear idea of this now.
Yes, sir.
If you have a CBD on your port side, what do you need to do? The first thing is you are required not to impede her passage. You take early action to allow sufficient sea room. The second one, if risk of collision exists and she doesn't take action, you shall take action as per rule of giveaway vessel. The third part is she's not relief of her obligation. That means she's a giveaway vessel, right? So,
okay, sir.
The third question that I asked you because we don't have time is about restricted visibility, and which is in reference to Rule 19. If you go to Rule 19D, I told you have a vessel, you know, on your port side, forward of a beam, and you have the vessel above your beam on the starboard side. Both of them risk of collision exist. And I mentioned restricted visibility, fog band, which have to do with Rule 19. So if you go to Rule 19D, there's a paragraph that states a vessel which detects by radar alone the presence of another vessel, another ship, you know, shall determine if risks of collision exist, which I mentioned that risks of collision exist. And if it exists, what shall she do? She shall take action in ample time. And what are the actions she shall take? It gives you two options. One, you know, so far as possible, avoid alteration of course to port for a vessel forward of a beam. So you have a vessel forward of your beam on the port side. Do not alter course to port. So at this case, you cannot go to port. The only option you have is to go to starboard. So, but the second part says, so far as possible, avoid alteration of course toward the vessel at beam or above the beam. The second vessel is above your beam on the starboard side. So meaning that you can't go to starboard again. So you can't go to port, you can't go to starboard. You know, so what is the action now you have? What's the option?
To keep my speed.
You can't keep your speed, you are going to collide. The action you have now is to take all way off and navigate with extreme caution until the danger is over. Reduce your speed. Because I bet you might get that question in oral. They will ask you to do a radar plotting you definitely have a vessel on your port side and a vessel above your beam. So the action is you take all the way off, or you reduce your speed, navigate with extreme caution until the danger is over. Because if you go back to rules of the road, what are the actions taken to avoid collision as per rule 7? 1.
Yes, you take all the way off when...
Action taken to avoid collision shall consist of a large alteration of course or reduction of speed. But alteration of course is effective. In this case, you cannot alter course to either side. So the best option you have as per rule 7 is to reduce your speed. You have to reduce your speed, to allow the other vessel to pass ahead of you, and to increase the CPA with the vessel on your starboard quarter. So it's very, very important that you really understand the rules. And what I will say here is that when you are being asked a question, you have to sit down and think. Do not end up digging a hole, because the moment you dig a hole, that's the beginning of your failure in exam. So you have to be very, very, very careful. So, Captain, I follow up at least 3 rules of the road question that I have. Yeah. So, do you have any addition to the feedback?
Yes, thank you. The one thing I want to say is restricted visibility, there is no stand-up. Everybody is giveaway. So you made a statement of you are going to stand up. You don't stand on in restricted visibility. I'll just quickly want to move over to Captain Success or Captain Kelly. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For the next
thank
meeting.
you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
Thank you. Success. Captain Success, are you there?
Yes, boss, I'm here.
Yeah, yes, sir. Please, can you give us, Beatrice, are you there? You can unmute yourself. Hey, just give us a brief feedback on Beatrice's performance.
Okay, Beatrice. So I know it was a hot seat for you, but you did well. It's just I think you need to brush up on your rules a bit. I don't want to take much time. If you look back through some of the questions that I asked you, you would see that you didn't get some of them, or maybe I wasn't passing it clearly. But the second question I asked you about a vessel on your port side, you will notice that Captain Danladi asked a similar question. I specifically told you the vessel was fishing with a trolling line. So that is not a vessel engaged in fishing. So you were taking an action as if the vessel was engaged in fishing, but she is not a vessel engaged in fishing. She is a power-driven vessel. It's just that she's using line to catch fish. So be careful with some of these little terminologies and differences. Rule 6, I think you did okay, but just so when you're answering questions, as much as you can remember, try and put it in, but try and avoid what Captain Danladi talked about, digging a hole for yourself. Don't just give a one-line answer and then stop. One thing I put down for you is just to be a little bit bold with your answers. Traffic separation scheme. The last question I asked about that I should have told you when you're crossing to inshore traffic zone. So I didn't make that really clear. I noticed it after I had asked the question already. Yeah. Light for vessel at anchor and vessel
restricted inability
to maneuver. You told me they were the same thing, but you even saying that you should have known that it cannot be the same. So I think you can do a little bit better. For lights, try to draw them and color them by yourself. I think it gives a bit of clarity when you color this light. Buy different colors of pens and pencils and then color each vessel by itself. Then the last one was the arc of visibility. I don't know if you've managed to check it after
Yes,
you answered the question,
side
but
light
it
is
was completely off.
112.5. Yeah.
So I think more of sessions like this would really help to prep you, because sometimes one can feel that, oh, you know these things, but when you're put on that hot seat, it becomes a little bit challenging. So I think if you can get either your friends or people around you to, you know, keep prepping you like this, then you start getting into that mood of answering the questions. But overall, well done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Captain Success. Thank you, Beatrice. I know you must have really known, you know, your mistakes, and it's just more about, more study. Sometimes it really
Yes,
gets
sir.
confusing, honestly. What I noted down here was your arc of visibility and your difference between
Restricted
restricted ability to maneuver and NUC, not under command. Your safe speed, check. There's a formula the bishop has given us on knowing your safe speed. I have a different formula, but I don't want to confuse everyone with safe speed. But the traffic density, backscattered light, maneuverability of the vessel, the drafting available to the in relation to the available water as well. All these things should be considered when you are giving, you know, your safe speed. And now talking about the limitation of the radar that you are the radar of your vessel. So you should be more proactive, you know, with this question, and that gives the examiner a confidence that yes, you are also going. You're also moving forward. Also, the anchor light. So the success was asking you about, you know, your anchor light. You should not be prone to say just a all-round white light. For which vessel? Which vessel is carrying an all-round white light? Also, when you see an all-round white light, you might mistake it for another vessel, but for the length of the vessel that you are talking about, which was the length as well. Your aground, I'm not sure I got your answers, and I'm not sure they were quite correct. Another thing about in addition to what Captain Success tells you is the rules. You are not really applying the rules in your actions as well. He asks you to give reasons for giveaway, so restricted ability to maneuver. Under which rule? Under which rule are we doing, apart from the rule 8? Which other rule does that apply to? That we're taking the application from as well. So the major thing, you really get in there. The major thing is study, and I'll come back to you. JJ, your examiner is no more. It's gone offline because he has to prepare for one thing. But one major thing you did, which was not nice and honestly is an automatic fail for any examiner, is using foul languages. I know, yes, you might say this is a prep class, but whatever you prepared yourself to do is what you find yourself doing later. So the foul languages of, I think the F word should not even be used in the exam. What you should even be looking for is more professional words that you want to be used. So if the examiner even gives you privilege, and that's one thing we have all seen today. If Captain Hanson gave you a privilege to say, okay, in your own words, describe it, it doesn't exonerate you, or it doesn't eradicate the fact that you still need to chip in more professional. You are speaking like a professional, and you are trying to convince an examiner that, yeah, for whatever post you are going to be, a master mariner, you are able for the job. So you shouldn't go with the F word. I've seen many, many students in UK here, they've really failed because of using languages that are not even up to, the one you use. So in any way, do not let such language, get into your preparation, not to talk of getting, to go and use those kind of words in exam word as well. Also, another one you also need to do, refer to the rules. Refer to the rules. What rule are you talking about? What rule are we talking about here? And do not just pick one rule and you explain. But yeah, JJ, you did well. Beatrice, I commend you for your courage. You did well. but now we know where we'll really strike on more. Ayotomowa, yeah, kind of a lot to say, but Captain Caleb has really buttressed on those points. So we've come to the end of today, and we've seen how interesting it is, but it comes down to study. The reason why I picked COLREGS and made it an oral is because Captain Caleb is here, Captain Tayo is here, Captain Success, and so they will tell you, if you pass other questions and you come down to COLREGS and you fail COLREGS, and boys, is an automatic failure. So this aspect is really the most important aspect of your oral examination anywhere in the world. So I really want to give us, another chance. And JJ, like I said, you did well, but that F word was not something that I really wanted to prepare or say anyway, whether by mistake, knowingly or unknowingly in any exam. So I really give us, again, another opportunity to let's come again, because I've seen Captain Success report and Captain Caleb reports. It's not a pass, but it's like we are getting there as well. So is it something that we would like to try it again? Ayotomowa, study it now. You can see what the examiners are after. Some examiners are after you really telling me what the rules really entails. Some examiners are about putting you on the ship and trying to, what your understanding of the rule, can you navigate the ship? Can you take avoiding actions as well? You can see other examiners trying to get your understanding of the rule. What's the arc of visibility? What's the the light and shape of the vessels? So don't just fix. If you stick down to just cramming the rule or knowing the rule, the other examiners are waiting on the application of the rule. If you stick to application of the rule, there are other examiners are trying to wait on your own understanding of the rule. So these three candidates want to give us another chance again. I'll reschedule that class again, and this time around, let's come back stronger. Let's come back with really more understanding of rules and confidence. And with that, I'll say thank you. Aside the bishop in the house, he has just been quiet down there, but I know he's shaking his head one way or the other. Thank you very much for joining. Thanks, Captain Success. Thanks, Captain Caleb. Captain Hanson is already gone. I'm sorry we took much time today, but today was really an interesting one, which I said we will really love to see the candidate again, come again, but much stronger. And let's beat it and let's win this. Yeah, AJA, you have a question. Quickly, quickly. Let's hear your question.
Yes. Good evening, Cap.
Yeah, go ahead. Good evening.
Yes, sir, Captain Hanson made mention of aspect. Please, I would like more clarification on aspect. He asked the first candidate what he understand by the word aspect. Please, I would like more clarification on that, sir.
On aspect?
Yes, sir, aspect.
All right.
Another time. It's late now.
Yeah. I was just about to, so I think that is an important question. We will just have to really dwell on it the next time we meet. It might be coming next Tuesday as well. But thanks for bringing that up. I'll make sure it's one of our top. It's priority. Yes, Kelvin, go ahead. Kelvin, are you there?
Yes, I am. Good evening, Cap.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, this sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Go ahead.
Yes, the responsibility between vessels. That is, you see that there is something very, very, confusing about that rule. Even as I am, but that rule still confuses me, especially the alterations and I think maybe when we come next week, if we take time to dissect that particular rule, because that rule looks very, it looks a bit like as if it's straightforward, but that rule is a bit cunning, especially the alterations in that particular rule.
Are you referring to Rule 18?
Yes, relating.
Perfect. Thanks for bringing that up. So yeah, we'll make sure we come in again on that, and then we are going to structurally look at that as well. So I think the COLREG series will continue so that we will round it up again with another oral examination as well. So yeah, responsibility between vessels will be dealt with, and I think that's a very important point. Thank you very much. Okay, with that, I want to say thanks a lot to everyone in the house, and bye. Have a lovely week, Captain Tayo, Captain Success. Thank you very much, Captain Success, for joining. Captain Caleb, Beatrice,